Hey, le people, do you know how to make your bass sound good within your mix? Do you know how your bass can have a unity within your mix and sound great within your song? This is Rebel Masters. This week, we're going to talk about basses, how to have a nice bass recording or a nice bass sound from the beginning, and also how to make your bass sit into your mix so the whole song have a nice unity. These are some guidelines for you audio engineers who are just starting to mix and are not sure where to put your bass, what to do with it, how to make it pop up within your sound, within your song. This is a guideline for you guys. Come on, let's check it out. So guideline number 1. Try to have your bass have at least 2 colors, low ends and high ends. How to do that from the beginning? You can do it before the mixing while you're recording, right? My recommendation is that you use the Sense App 21 Tech when you're gonna record. It will help you to have both ends. You can make a recording with the low ends and you can make a recording for the high ends. If you're in a budget, there's another alternative, the Behringer BDI-21. It's very similar circuits, and it has some similar sounds. My recommendation, Soundstack 21 or the Behringer one. Go check them out. If you already have your bass recorded, my recommendation is to have 2 tracks of the bass, right? 1 track you treat it for the low ends and 1 track you treat it for the high ends. For the low ends, I usually treat it with the plugin Ampeg SVTVR, which gives me a beautiful low end and it will sit perfectly on your mix. When I want to treat the high ends or when I want to give high ends to the bass, I usually use the plugin Ampeg SVT3 Pro. Wow, what a name. This will give me beautiful high ends for the basses. And what I do is I take both tracks, the track that I treated the low ends and the track that I treated the high ends of the bass, and I start mixing them up only by volume to see if I want a little bit of more lows or to see if I want to put a little bit of more highs, and start playing with that within the mix.
Every time that I typed a word, I wasn't sure about the other end. Would she receive with an open mind?
Guideline number 2. So if you already have the color of the bass that you wanted, what do you do next? So what do I do next? My next approach is the EQing, right? But the EQing is basically, or this part of the EQing is basically cleaning EQ. So I do high pass and low pass filter. Just use for the low track, I just leave the low ends, right? And for the high frequencies, the track that has the bass that I'm treating with the high frequencies, I do a high pass filter, cut up to maybe 200 hertz, and I just treat the high ends. So why do I do this? When I treat the low ends, right, and I do a high pass filter up to 80 and a low pass filter maybe up to 100, what I'm doing is giving that space of frequencies to the bass. Some other people might treat it differently. Yeah, I've seen that this has helped within my mixes, right? Remember, all of this depends on the song, what type of song is, what type of frequencies you're mixing, what type of instruments you're mixing. But this is like my first approach, and I recommend you do the same so you start listening and discerning if it's good for your song or not. After you have done a good cleaning of your basses with Equalizer, my recommendation is to go with your compressors. But what are you gonna do with your compressors? So it depends. If it's a song that is like more tropical and slow pace and you wanna admire the bass, my recommendation is to go with the usually LA2A. It will help you have a more dynamic control. If the musician maybe is not that great at skilled, it will help you with the transients. It will be a good seat for the mix approaching with that compressor. And then after that, what I do is I put a 76, right? Because what it does, what I do with it is bring out the punchiness of the bass.
Her words, my heart was black and turned to red. We did connect, an alien with another face and another race across the world. Who cares if I know?
Another approach that I do is what I explained in another video. You can see it like somewhere here. I'm gonna put it. Is the 3 limiters I put on the bus compressor of the basses, right? It's a technique that Dave Pensado teaches on his channel, on some videos I've seen of him, and it's a good way to approach the compression of your bass if the song requires it. If the song is a fast pace, is a rock song, or is a really pop punchiness song, my recommendation is to go with that approach. So after you've done a cleaning with the equalizers and you have a good compression, your bass is punchy, is on the mix, my recommendation is to go again with another equalizer, but this time to enhance. And when I say enhance, it's not to boost out those frequencies. No, find the sweet spot of your bass within the song and punch it up a little bit, maybe 2-3 dBs. Be careful with your bass and your kick so they don't mix up and start muffling the sound. So go check your bass, the frequencies that your bass are better at within the song, and go check the frequencies of the kick and be careful that they're not crossing each other. So my recommendation is now to enhance your bass a little bit so it stands out more within your song. Okay, so now you're happy with your bass, it sits well in your song, but there's something missing from that bass, right? You don't know if it's the body, you don't know if it's more volume, if it's more like grandeur, like how do you do that? My recommendation, what I do next after cleaning, after compressing, after enhancing, is parallel compression, right? So usually you open an auxiliary, you put your compressor, and then you route it out and you get a good compression, right? So you have your auxiliary with your compression, right? It sounds good, but if you add an equalizer to that compressor, it will sound much better. But be careful what you do with that equalizer. Remember, it's just a little bit of everything. All of the processes you've done is just a little bit to enhance that whole song. In this case, your equalizer after your compressor in your parallel compression, what you're gonna do is take that frequency that is the sweet spot of the bass within the song that you previously enhanced. You're gonna enhance a little bit more, but just that frequency, nothing else, only that frequency, and punch it out within your parallel compression. This will help the bass be big within your song.
She only had one big to see, but every time she wrote her words, my heart was black and turned to red. We did connect, an alien.
But remember, compression, equalizer, find the sweet spot of your bass, enhance it a little bit, and punch that parallel compression. It will boost your bass within the song. Okay, the people, so some final thoughts about how to treat your basses within your mix. Remember, it always depends on the type of song that you're treating, right? What I say is not absolute, it's all relative. So be careful, always try it out. If it doesn't sound good, you're gonna figure it out right away. Bring it up, bring it down again, and try it again. Try something else. It's all about listening, trying out, listening. If it doesn't work, change it. Always go with your gut. You try it out, it sounds good. Okay, leave it like that. And then after you have mixed a lot of time, you go back to that change that you did. Like, does it still work? Maybe yes, maybe no. You choose, right? Another final recommendation: if you want to put different colors to your bass, for example, you want to add distortion to your bass, or you want to add a chorus to your bass, my recommendation is to do it from the beginning of the line, meaning don't start equalizing and compressing and doing everything, and then at the end you're gonna add a distortion, or you're gonna add a chorus, or you're gonna add some effects. My recommendation is to add your coloring in the beginning and then treat what we just talked in this video. So guys, these are guidelines and tips that have helped me in my productions. I hope it helps you on yours. If you're just starting out on your mixes and you have some questions, put them down in the comments. Maybe I can help you. If not, I can maybe reference you to other places that might answer the questions that you have. Please be cool, give a like, subscribe. It will help me to reach out more people to do the things that I love to do, and we can share it together. So hope to see you next, and see you on the next one.